Hey, it's Uso from Barefin Studios, here to talk to you a little bit about Marathon. But first, I kind of want to talk a little bit about the channel. First off, Secret of the Mimic will be getting its last episode soon. I just have to figure out how to fix the footage. The quality got really rough after downloading it from Twitch, and it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to upload, even though I have in the past. Looking at the Destiny Final Shape review, didn't really understand how a capture card worked back then. Anyway, just expect a few reviews soon. This month has been insane for games. Like, we've had Marathon, we've had Resident Evil 9, we're getting Crimson Desert, there's Slay the Spire 2, like, bunch of games, and I'm trying to catch up because I'm on spring break right now, so bear with me. Resident Evil 9 is probably next. I just want to focus on one game at a time. You know, kind of easy for me to get scatterbrained, as you can tell from the other videos, especially the Dead by Daylight ones. Anyway, back on topic. Marathon. So if you don't know what Marathon is, it's a new extraction shooter by the creators of Halo and Destiny. Bungie, if you... I'm sure you've heard of them, you know, like, they're a little bit big. There was a trilogy that came out in the 90s, I think, and I haven't played them personally, but I've heard good things about them. They seem to look like OG Doom or like Quake, but, you know, again, I haven't played them. I'll probably play them at some point, though. Now, while I know most of you know what an extraction shooter is, I know from the experience I've just had having to explain what it is to a few friends, some people may be a little lost, especially those coming from like Destiny or Halo. It's a big jump. So I'll explain a little bit. An extraction shooter basically follows this pattern. You load up into a game with some starter items and loot a map. You look for weapons, mods, valuables that you can sell, and a few other things, do some events, you know, whatever. While doing this, you can fight some enemies or other players with the same goals as you. After you feel like you grabbed enough, you go exfil, which basically means you leave, or attempt to at least. Now, if you successfully do that, and you get out, you bring whatever you found during that run, and you can you bring that out with you, and you can either sell that or use it for a later match. That's like weapons, mods for your character, armor, backpacks, that kind of stuff. And there's, again, valuables that you can sell or auto sell in Marathon. Now, of course, that was if you succeed getting out, which, if you're new to extraction shooters, is not going to be your first run. If you die at any point, which always for some reason seems to be right at exfil, you lose everything. And, you know, you're back to using a free kit. But yeah, that's pretty much the loop. I know, like, each extraction shooter, like Arc Raiders, and I know, like, DMZ exists. I don't really know if that's considered like a modern like extraction shooter. I know it was like a little bit different. People treated it a little bit different, but I didn't really play much of it personally. But each one plays a little bit different, has its own different kind of niche thing it wants to aim at. Like, I know Arc Raiders has a lot of like, hey, you should focus more on being chill and work cooperatively with your people, opposed to killing everyone you see, which is what this game is for the most part. Anyway, now that we're on the same page, let's look into Marathon. Okay, now I'm just gonna start with the big thing first, as this is what I know I would be curious about, and I know most of you are pretty curious about. To start, I want to say I'm not really an extraction shooter guy. I'm really just a fan of Bungie and kind of want to see what this game was about, and to be completely and fully transparent, I was expecting to hate it. to the point where actually me and Ging split it 50-50 and just did a game share because neither of us really wanted to drop a full 40 on it. So I'm a broke college student, guys. You guys understand. Like I don't, $40 is a lot. That being said, though, I'm gonna give props to it. Somehow, some way, it did something to actually make me enjoy the extraction aspect. I honestly don't know what makes it feel different than the other extraction shooters I've played. But just to kind of skate through my likes and dislikes, I really like the gunplay. I think the guns all feel different enough to where I don't feel like I'm picking up just an archetype of a of a weapon. Funnily enough, though, it's one of my major issues with Destiny. So I don't know how Bungie mixed this up. Like in Destiny, I feel like I'm using either a 600 RPM or fucking 900 for ARs. I know I just use a weird example. Sorry, my brain's like fried right now. But like, I feel like in Destiny, I know a gun less for its individual name and what it is, but I just view it as like an archetype, or this gun rolls with these perks. It feels like this gun and this gun and this gun. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I know 28 guns versus a few hundred is, I mean, it's kind of just the price you pay when you have a bunch of guns in a game. They're going to feel alike, but I don't know. It's just nitpicky with Destiny. Anyway, back on track again, scatterbrained. I feel like the guns in this game each feel kind of different and fit their own little niche, which feels really nice. Currently, my favorite weapons are the long shot and the V11 punch. I know those are both pretty strange ones, but the V11 punch, I don't know what it is about it. It's just like I just feel badass using it. Also, it has that plasma pistol like charge attack thing, and I did not know that existed until I accidentally found that out. Now, next I want to go to movement and abilities. I really like how each shell fits its own niche. I think the only one I'm really not sold on is Recon. I feel like its kit identity seems to be a little all over the place. I know it's like main thing is tracking people and, finding where the fuck your enemies are, but I don't know, it just feels weird having a main ability that can track people and mark them for everyone, and then having just a random ass little robo dude who just suicide bombs your enemies. I don't know, I played a little bit of Recon, really liked how all the shells looked, and Recon kind of stood out to me, so I played a little bit, but I was a little disappointed. But, that might just be someone I don't enjoy playing, and that's completely fine, That's how a lot of hero games are for me. I usually find a few people I don't like. Now, the movement, I'm going to be honest, I feel like it's just pretty standard. Of course, there's the exceptions, Vandal and Thief, a fucking, extreme movement and grapple hook, which I saw some people find a tech for grapple hook, which is super funny to me. I will say I'm not really a fan of the overheat mechanic. I think it makes the game feel a little too slow sometimes, and while I know that's not an objectively bad thing, I would just prefer it to be a little bit more forgiving when using it for running and sliding. I just think it heats up too fast, especially for sliding. I don't know, I don't like it. Again, though, I can see the argument against it that not all games need to be super fast paced, so I understand some people will be like, well, I like this, it's a skill issue on your end, whatever, I know I'm bad at the game. But I don't know, just to me, sometimes it just gets annoying when you overheat and then you just can't do anything. You can't run, you can't slide, and I think I don't know, maybe it could be a little more forgiving, at least for movement. I know abilities, it's whatever. But I don't know, it just kind of sucks overheating so much. I want to move on to something else for gameplay, which I thought about putting this with something else, like separation wise in the video, but I want to bring this up because it's so core to how the match feels. The maps are really well designed. I've actually seen some contention with this. Some people are like not fans of it, but I'm gonna be honest, I really like how the maps are designed. I like that most of the time. The reason I say this is Dire Marshal's a little different, but most of the time it's not super easy to just look from the top of a building and see like other squads just running. Like, you have to be paying attention. Like, you have to listen for gunshots. You have to actually look and pay attention to what's around you and not just easily pick out there's 3 people running across the map. Let me just dome them from over here. Now, of course, there are moments where you can stand on top of a building and still dome people, but there's very few and far between, and I like that because I think my least favorite aspect of games that are kind of similar, and I'm gonna make like I've heard this is kind of like a cardinal sin comparing things to battle royales, but or extraction shooters to them, but like it would be like me in Apex just kind of running across the map and getting domed. Like, I don't have that issue as much in this game. I actually usually when I run into players, I feel like I have a pretty fair encounter with them. Like, every time I lose, I'm like, okay, I could have done better here. It's not I lose and then like, shit, I didn't see that person. Like, they're across the map, there's nothing I could have done. They have this gun and this gun. Like, I'm just not really having that problem. Now, there are a few guns that are a little, like the shotgun is a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie. You can make it a little crazy. I've made it a little crazy, so I'm guilty of it, but it's for fun, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I know some people will get pissed off about it, and that's fair, because you are losing a bunch of stuff. And stuff in this game is equivalent to time spent, so you're technically losing the time you spend in the game, but, you know, whatever. I don't know. Weapon balancing, though, I mean, it's pretty standard in this game, too. Again, just the shotgun. And thermal scopes. They're a little crazy, but I saw the patch. The patch is supposed to, like, fix that a little bit, but I think they're low-key over-nerfing it, but I haven't seen what, like, just from what the text says, it seems like they're over-nerfing, but I'm not sure. I got a TBD on that. I'm making a follow-up video anyway. I'll explain that later. Now, I really like the PvE aspect. The robots are fucking terrifying. Like, randomly you'll just be pulled up on by these robots with shields. I think they're called commanders. Me and my friends call them Broly bots. If you've ever been like ran up by one of them and punched, you completely will understand what I'm saying. They lunge at you like a damn anime character. It's terrifying. I feel like they may have a little bit too much health. Just a tiny bit. Not because I'm not saying like they're too hard to kill. It's just like by the time you're done with an engagement with some of the robots, you like have no ammo left sometimes. Especially for early game, that's a big struggle because you don't have backpacks and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I think maybe just a little bit less health. Like, I'm not saying like big numbers, just a little bit. They just eat ammo. And I know you technically aren't supposed to just fight every single one you see. You're supposed to avoid, but even when you avoid, sometimes you run into them and you just lose all your ammo. But yeah. Anyway, next. Alright, art and music. To me, this is something really unique about the game. It mixes the muddy, murky environments of nature and puts them with an unnatural, vibrant, plasticky color vibe. Honestly, as a person who hates the current death of color going on in our world, it makes me really happy to see these vibrant pinks, blues, yellows, greens, and reds, you know. I know there's kind of a controversy that happened, like, I think it's almost like a year ago at this point. Might have been less. I just have a terrible sense of time. But there was stolen art. One of the artists took art from someone, like a smaller artist, and yeah, that was shitty. I don't know. I think everyone was mad about that. I can't think of a single person who tried to defend that. But from what I've read, it's been dealt with and stuff has been worked out with the creator, and they got rid of the person who stole the art. Now, if that has changed and that's not true, please let me know. Because, yeah, that's just what I looked up and saw. I really do love this direction they went with the term, like the design. They went with this like kind of plasticky look. I think it feels really different than like most games. I think most games try and go too gritty. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't know, this is nothing against Arc Raiders, but I don't really like how the in-game looks for that game. And I think, like, even again, I'm gonna compare it to other battle royales and stuff, but I know like DMZ and Warzone, like, I hate that gray filter they have over everything. Like, I don't know, I don't like that just nasty kind of look. I don't know. I understand that for some people that hyper realism kind of vibe is cool, but like, I don't know, if I wanted to experience that level of lack of color and stuff, I would just go outside. At least here, and where I'm at, it is kind of dreadful. So it's whatever though. I gotta say though, I do wish there was a little bit more of the color, like especially on like the first map. I forget what it's called. Perimeter, I think. I wish it had a little bit more of that art style, because it was a lot of nature, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like the way it looked didn't really feel like it leaned into the art style as much. Like the north and south relays, I think it was. I'm not really, or station, I forget what it is, but the north and south station / relay things, they looked cool and they stood out in the environment, but like I just feel like there wasn't much more than that. Again though, that's like a starter map, so I guess I get it, but I don't know. I think like Outpost has a great sense of what it's supposed to look like, same with Dire Marsh, and it's just really cool. As for music and sound design, I love it, honestly. It's really beautiful in times and creepy as hell in others. I don't really know how to explain it, but the sounds of the game make me feel kind of scared, like uneasy, anxious. I don't really know how to put it, but the lobby screen is a great example of that. Like, the background music is so creepy. Also, there's like this ARG right now where the Marathon AI, like villain, Durandal, starts talking over this like little screen you can go up to, and it's creepy, man. Like, side note, I just want to say this: Ben Starr voices Durandal, and it's great. All of it's great. They got Ben Starr, Jennifer English, Neil Newbon. I don't really know. I feel stupid for that, but yeah. There's a lot of really talented voice actors in this cast, and it's insane that they got all of them. But it's very well done, at least from what I've heard. Like in game, yeah. I don't know, just not much to say about art and music. It's great all around. I know some people really don't like it. There's been this thing of like saying it looks like a Roblox game. I personally don't see that. I just think it's plasticky, kind of like vibrant. It's a lot different. Now I will say some of the environmental things don't look great, and this is just really nitpicky. Like sometimes when bugs are flying around, they're just like little dots. And sometimes some of the stuff you find, like I know there's like an area that has like, it looks like there's meant to be like bugs on the floor. They're just little dots moving around. I feel like Destiny has a little bit more sense of that kind of detail, and I wish it would bring that level of detail to the small stuff in Marathon. But stuff like weather and environment and buildings, all that kind of stuff, like lighting, it's beautiful. Like, I don't know, I really do enjoy it, personally. Now, this is something I always want to look into every time I get into a game or want to get a game. And to be honest with you, the only answer here I have is I don't know. As of now, the game feels really replayable, but I think the real test is going to be how frequent we get updates with new weapons and other zones / maps. I'm having a blast on this game. I recognize that eventually the wonder of finding all the key cards for Pinwheel or just exploring and finding loot I've never used before will be lost. And with only one new map and one remixed map on the horizon at the moment, I can't lie, I worry. You know, especially coming from Destiny, I don't know. I just a little nervous. However, with how things have been going and how fast this first patch has been put out, I think we'll have it good for a while. The real worry is how Bungie's going to juggle resources with this and Destiny 2 or 3 or a DLC or whatever is going to happen. Basically, my point is here, if you're worried about enjoying the game long term, that's completely fine. I do recommend getting it because, to be honest with you, it's fun. I think regardless of what happens, you'll still have a fun time with what's currently in the game. But if you're looking for something that's going to be your next 5-year video game like Destiny, I would wait a little bit. Not that I think anyone really makes a extraction shooter their game for 5-6 years. I don't know. I don't really play them that much. But I don't know. I would just wait till Cryo Archive, personally. If that's what you're expecting out of this game, I would wait and see how Cryo Archive, because that's supposed to be the like beginning of the end game, showing what that's supposed to look like. Yeah, so I would just wait, because while it's great now, again, that wonder, like, it goes away after a while, because with extraction shooters, especially like this, you don't get access to all the content immediately. You don't get access to all the guns. You have to earn them, and that makes each weapon have its own little layer of emotion put onto it, at least for me. So it's, I don't know, you have to look through a lot of like rose-tinted glasses when it comes to thinking about how this game will age. Because eventually there's going to be nothing to look forward to if you don't have a roadmap, which is like how Destiny is right now. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think it's great. I would just, you know, if you have a way to try it, like if you can game share or if you can watch a streamer you like play it, I would do that. My biggest thing, and I'll go over this in a minute in another section, make your own opinion, because a lot of people online have this tendency of just not playing something and just kind of attaching labels based off of what everyone else says about it. I would make my own opinion on something like this, just because, like, you know, it's really easy to hate, but, you know, I don't know, it's a little harder to give things a chance, and I think that that's like what we should be doing so we can get better games in the future. But again, in a second. Alright, so my final thoughts. I'd give this game a solid 8.5 out of 10. I think it has a fantastic foundation set for something that could potentially be great. I do think small things like the menu navigation, which I didn't mention earlier, it's and the overheat mechanics bug me a little bit, but the points I'm taking away aren't really for that. It's more so from the fact that this is not a finished review. I want to revisit this once Cryo Archive comes out. I just don't know how to like explain it, but I feel like there's something missing, and I want to give Cryo Archive a chance to change that. The reason I'm putting this out right now is just because I want to put my thoughts in an organized fashion now while it's fresh in my brain, before I start writing for Resident Evil 9, because I don't know when Cryo Archive comes out. It could be tomorrow after the community solves a puzzle, or it could be 3 weeks from now. I would rather put my thoughts out now. Even though they have asked us to wait, I'm just gonna talk about it now. I know, like, speaking of that, I know people like thought of that as like a attempt to censor people or like tell people to not like review. I don't know. This is something that even happens in Destiny. It's like, yes, there's going to be more content after release, and the reason they're telling you to wait is because they're trying to do this whole ARG thing. Like, the content is finished, the game is finished, it's not an unfinished product. It just has steps to unlock this content. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be like reviewing a Destiny DLC before the raid comes out and then completely and totally calling it unfinished because it doesn't have a raid, even though there's a drop. Like, we know when the raid's coming out. I just think, like, again, people are just hating to hate, and that kind of brings me into what I want to say next. Like, there's been some drama with this, and it's like super weird to me, like so weird. And I'm gonna go a little bit, like, because this is the first time I'm like trying script. Sorry, Chris is playing Resident Evil 9. I don't know if you can hear him in the background, but he just yelled. So I'm just gonna go on a little tangent. I'm going off script right now. Like, I feel like people are hating on this game for no reason. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, everyone is entitled to their opinion, for one, because I've seen this a lot, and I'm not paid by Bungie, I'm not sponsored by Bungie, obviously, I don't have enough subscribers for that anyway, but, like, even if I was, I'd be honest. And my thing right now is, like, anyone who likes Marathon is almost, like, villainized, I feel like. Holy shit. Sorry, my roommate. Holy shit. Resident Evil 9 had me like that too, man. It had me like that too. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear him yelling, but, like, I'm hearing the mic pick it up, so I think you can. Anyway, a lot of people have been acting like basically people are industry plants for enjoying this game. Listen, it's not that deep. Okay, it really isn't. You can have your own opinion and, like, say what you want. And I'm not saying that you can't go out and say fuck people who enjoy this game. You can, but I don't know. I just think right now we have this huge problem of just letting people enjoy what they enjoy, and we would rather make things like an example I've seen is Destiny players and Arc Raider players really don't like the concept of this game. Like, Destiny players feel a little betrayed. Arc Raiders players feel like it's a ripoff. Really oversimplification of points, but, like, that's basically what I've seen. But it's just been copy and paste arguments, and it's just like, I don't know. That's usually fine, because, again, you can say whatever the hell you want. But the thing is one, there's nothing that comes out of that is helpful. You know what I mean? Like, you getting in a comment section and just calling people shit because they enjoy a game, there's no point in that. There really isn't. Like, you don't gain anything out of that. Like, I don't know. It's pointless. Also, like, why? I don't know. Like, if I was an extraction shooter fan, like, just in general, I would kind of want more competition, because competition means the games actually have to try. Like, I mean, a good example is, like, when First Ascendant came out, I was excited for Destiny because I was like, this might actually push Bungie to care about the game. Now, did it? Not really, but in the moment, I was excited for it. And, like, I don't know, I'm still waiting for another era of, like, Halo versus Call of Duty level of, like, competition, because I think that is what we need right now. Without the toxicity, though, because there's, like, no point in that. There's no point in, like, I don't know, I've seen a lot of comments that are just explicitly just so fucked up. I don't want to show screenshots, but a lot of them on, like, Destiny bulletin posts and, like, other, like, news sources, like, just kind of yelling at people for enjoying the game. I don't know. there's just no point in that, because at the end of the day, like, someone likes what they like, and you forcing someone to dislike something does nothing but breed more negativity, you know? Now, I understand toxic positivity is a thing. Yes, like, if we're handed slop, like, we should be saying, hey, we're not cool with this. But on the other hand, if we're not handed slop, and the game's pretty alright, and people are enjoying it, just let them enjoy it. Now, I will say there's also a little bit of rage baiting on the other side. People are putting a bunch of comments down and posts being like, I really love this game. I don't understand what the hate is. It's super forced. Like, as right as I feel like that person is, as much as I agree with them, saying that does nothing but make the people who are pissed at this game, it makes them actually respond, and it starts arguments. There's no point in there's no point in saying that either. I don't know, like, it's weird. But I don't know, I think it also exposed another thing to me. Like, I know some of the streamers were sponsored, and that's a whole other thing, whatever. People are frustrated, they feel like they can't trust what their streamers are saying. But, like, I've been watching people's reactions to their streamers switching from either Destiny or Arc Raiders to Marathon, and people have been so toxic. Like, they've been so fucking mean to the streamers. And I'm not saying, like, all the streamers are great. I mean, in fact, I don't really necessarily agree or like most of the content they push out, to be honest. But, like, it just showed me that, like, getting into streaming one thing is like putting a gun to your head. Like, they've made that audience, and that audience now, if the streamer goes against them, they're gonna send them threats, they're gonna fucking yell at them, they're gonna just abandon them. Like, I don't know. Sorry, our air freshener just went off. But yeah, it just, I don't know, to me, it doesn't make sense that people are acting that way. And I think it's even more annoying that people defend the, like, just borderline, like, harassment in chat by saying just, like, well, they're just using their voice to give the opinion. They don't like this. And it's like, okay, that's cool. But, like, we're intelligent enough to be able to use our voices in a way that's not, like, I don't know, harmful. I don't want to use the word harmful, because, yeah, but I don't know. It's childish and it's ridiculous. I don't know. I think as long as we act this way and we hate on any competition or any new games and not try things and not like, again, trying the new games and just hating them as soon as they come out without, again, trying them, we're just gonna have the same slop. We're gonna have trends where it's just something is cool, everything tries to copy it, maybe one or two of those stick, and then after a month we move on to something different. I think, like, we really see that here. I think the trends you really see in, like, horror games really bad. Like, I don't know if we're still in this kind of era, but, like, the oh god, what is this called? Because I know like the type of game. I just forget what the original, like, oh man, I'm gonna look it up while I'm talking about it, but it's like, No, You're Not My Neighbor, or That's Not My Neighbor, or something like that. And hold on, Papers, Please. Sorry, the kind of game that's like a Paper Please kind of thing. Like, I think we're still in that little era for horror games. Not that the new games are bad. Like, again, they're not reinventing the wheel. They're trying something new, and I think my favorite one so far is No, I'm Not Human. But I think, you know, without being willing to try new games, I think we're going to be stuck in this era of we're going to play the same game over and over and over and over and over again until we've mutated its DNA so much it's something different. Which, again, mascot horror to this is low-key what it's become. Little rant on horror. I know it's like I haven't given enough context on it to really like drive in my point there, but people who are horror game fans probably understand what I'm trying to say. But like, I don't know. I think Marathon is a good game. I think it's a lot of fun. I think there are issues. I don't think I'm an industry plant for liking it. Yeah. I don't know. A new game doesn't have to reinvent the wheel to be good. It doesn't have to be comparative to something else to be good. It can just be good. I think that's some of my yap session here. Anyway, be ready for a Resident Evil video. I'm going to probably get that out within the next few days. Yeah, I don't know. I have some really interesting thoughts on that game. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, I'll see you guys. Peace.